What's up, guys? This is Sergio Pettis, and you're watching The Game Plan.
Hey everybody, this is Giancarlo Aulino reporting for The Game Plan, and I'm happy to be joined by my guest today who's going to be talking about an exciting rematch that's going to be taking place in Japan. He is a former Bellator bantamweight champion. He's Sergio Pettis. How you doing, Sergio?
Doing well, brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. And Sergio, this an exciting fight that came together there in RIZIN. It was announced that you're going to be taking on Kyoji Horiguchi, a rematch from your fight in Bellator, which you got a big win there. Can you just talk to our listeners here, like how this fight came about and what was the motive there of accepting a rematch with a fighter you defeated?
Yeah, man. So after my fight with Patsy Mix, took a little bit of time off. Was kind of, just a little down and out, obviously, after losing the belt. But then my manager came with an opportunity about like a week after I got married, and was like, "Hey, I don't know if you're interested, but Horiguchi and they want to do a rematch in Japan for the RIZIN organization." And I was like, "What do you mean if I'm not interested? Of course I'm interested." ASAP, I was like, "Yes, I'll take that fight." At first, they did want this fight at flyweight to challenge Horiguchi for his flyweight belt. But unfortunately, I just got married and stuff, so the time frame that they gave me, I couldn't make the flyweight limit. So they're like, you know what, the rematch at 135 sounds good. That's where you guys fought the first time. So, yeah, man, that's how things came together. Now we're 3 weeks out from Japan.
That's great. And also, like with RIZIN, they do have that partnership, or they did have it with Bellator. And since Bellator was acquired from the PFL, did you have to get like approval from the PFL to make this happen?
No, not at all. They were open to it. They were cool with it. So yeah, no approval, no nothing. Just yeah, let's get it.
And what does it say now to like Horiguchi that they wanted this rematch so bad? Like, is it more motivation for you knowing that they're the ones that really wanted to pursue it and kind of rewrite history in a way because of what happened last time?
Yeah, for sure, man. They wanted to give Horiguchi another opportunity, and truly, I think he deserves it. He's an honorable athlete, honorable man, cool, super cool guy. So it was like, definitely, why not? Why not give him another opportunity in his hometown in Japan? Let's put Pettis in uncomfortable waters. Let's see if the man can swim. And I'm excited to go swim in some new waters.
And this fight is going to be under RIZIN rules, so the soccer kicks are allowed there. Is there going to be any more tools in your arsenal that fans could see there?
Oh, for sure. I think this is going to open up a new game for me. I've never gotten a chance to compete under the RIZIN rules. So using soccer kicks, stomps, as soon as I heard that, my heart started pounding. I'm like, oh man, this is something different, something serious. It's like a street fight, but mixed martial arts street fight. And I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, man. So we're pretty much, we're known for that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I think it opens up the door for me. It gives me more options off my back and possibly end him out with some soccer kicks, some stomps, add a highlight reel to my career. That'd be epic.
And just speaking of highlight reels, like when you beat Horiguchi, that was a highlight reel. A spinning back fist out of nowhere. You caught him, defend the title there. So just that night, then like what was it like being in the cage with Horiguchi?
Yeah, for sure. The first time going with him, it was my first time defending the belt too. So there's a little extra pressure when you're fighting for that belt and defending the belt. It's a little different. When you're fighting to get the belt, that hunger, that motivation you got, it's like, I'm going to get this belt, whatever it takes. And then when you got the belt, you're like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to not lose the belt. It's a whole different pressure. So I went in that fight looking a lot tense, a little uncomfortable. And not only that, Horiguchi's a gamer. He's a veteran. So he was looking nice. He was smooth. His entries were very frustrating. His movement was frustrating. His speed was frustrating. So the whole first 3.5 rounds, man, I was definitely frustrated. I was getting very annoyed. I just wanted to hit him so bad I couldn't hit him. And yeah, this time around, I think things would be a little bit different. There's less pressure on me, and to be honest, there's more pressure on him. He's got to go out there and perform for his people in front of Japan and try to get that rematch, try to get that W back. And this time, I think I'll be able to fight more freely, not have all that pressure on me and just be able to really go out there and be a full, true martial artist.
What's it like preparing for an opponent that you fought before? Like, does it make it easier or is it a little bit more difficult because, some time has passed and you've seen how his career has progressed since then?
Yeah, things definitely a little different. This is my first time having a rematch in my career ever, so it's a whole new experience for me, very unique. getting him, feeling him out in 2021, I know it's going to be different than fighting him in 2024. It's going to be a whole different game, a whole different Horiguchi. He's gotten better. I've gotten better as well. So I'm excited to see both of our improvements and fight inside of a ring and having new rule sets is going to be interesting for me. But, he's used to that already. But, yeah, it's a whole new experience for me, a whole unique experience. And, that's why I took this fight as well, because, it's my first time doing a rematch, first time going to Japan, first time fighting in the ring with those rule sets. My first fight ever, I fought in Canada in a ring for my pro debut. So it's not too different for me, but yeah, it's a whole different experience. So.
And who you been training with most for this camp? Like, are you going back to like the same guys that you trained with for the first time against Horiguchi, or are you not superstitious in that way?
I'm not superstitious in that way. I think every fight is a different, whole different type of fighter, a whole different lifestyle too that you gotta, get used to. We got different times in our life. I know Horiguchi just got married too, so I know we're kind of like on the same time frame in a bit. But no, it's been lovely, man. This is a great camp. I've had great partners. I've been training with Christian Rodriguez. I've been training out in belly flow striking with Belal Muhammad and his team as well. So yeah, I feel very comfortable, man. I've had some good guys on me.
And let's say you get your hand raised here against Horiguchi the second time. Are you going to be pursuing that flyweight championship bout, or would that like be under a whole different like kind of an agreement with the PFL?
I think things will be okay. I feel like they're pretty cool about things, PFL and Bellator. Things are still being figured out, and nothing's really set in stone. So I think that's why they're giving these opportunities and not making it too big of an issue. And I think they're down with the cross promotion, which I think is very unique, in this game, because you got some heavy players in the game like UFC that won't cross promote, or other organizations that didn't, and now you got other organizations that are agreeing to cross promote and make fights happen that the world wants to see, not just from the US, but like from other parts of the world, touching different fan bases as well.
That's great. And like, just even with the PFL, did they offer you any fights before the Horiguchi one came up, or like were you still like seeing how the division was gonna and the landscape there was gonna like come together?
Yeah, there was an opportunity that was given to me, but it was a little bit later down the road. So I was like, you know what, I'm trying to get something a little bit sooner than that, because, I'm not trying to wait till September, October to fight. It would have been like a whole year off. And really, I have no, big injuries that would hold me back from not fighting for a whole year. And I'm getting older. So, I want to take advantage of this time. I just hit my 30s. So I want to make sure that, I'm a active fighter, and that once this is all said and done, I'm able to, live the lifestyle that I want to live. But I actually missed your question. That 125 belt, that might be an option for me later on. I didn't have the time frame now to make the weight, but if they gave me the correct time frame, I believe I will make that weight again. And yeah, I'm always interested. A new belt would be awesome. We got, especially for the Pettis legacy, my brother's got the UFC belt, the WC belt, I got the Bellator belt. And if I get the PFL belt or the RIZIN belt, that'll put us as probably one of the best brothers to ever do the sport.
Just like the flyweight title, I know Bellator was going to do that, and then the accidental eye poke in the Horiguchi fight, put a halt to that. But with yourself, like saying that you could make the weight, like, is that something you would like to do in the future, like go from flyweight and bantamweight, or is there one weight where you feel most comfortable at?
To be honest, bantamweight is where I feel very comfortable. I do walk around fairly heavy for flyweight. Even when I was fighting in flyweight, I was a little bit heavier, and the weight cut's a little bit different on me. I haven't done it since I was 26 years old, so now being in my 30s, I don't know how the body will react. So I believe with the right time frame, with the right people behind me, I can make 125. And for this fight, I didn't have that. It was a little bit too soon. But yeah, man, you know me. I'm down. The Pettis brothers are down to fight wherever we go. Anthony's fought at 145 before. He's died to make that weight. But that's what we're here for. We're prize fighters. And if I got to go to 25 and get another belt and make his legacy cemented, more than happy to do so.
You mentioned your brother there. I saw on Friday this past week, he went to the cage there, Cedric Doumbe in Paris, and said he wanted to fight him in Paris. So can we get your reaction to what went down there? Your brother going into the cage and saying, okay, the pay-per-view's fine, but he wants to fight Cedric Doumbe in his home country.
Yeah, man, we don't care. I think we both got to our point in our careers that, we're down to fight wherever we fight. Anthony's fought up weight classes, he's fought down weight classes. I fought up weight classes, down weight classes. We're down to go wherever it goes. And, and just showed, like a testimony to who he truly is. He's down to be a gambler and really risk, going into their territory and, taking them out. That's legendary stuff. Most people try to run from that stuff. We don't run from that. We're out here trying to go where they're from and, take them out in front of their home crowd, just like they try to do to us. So, yeah, I thought it was epic. I'm glad he caught him out in Paris. And it's a legend, man. And, him going to Paris, I think would bring more eyes over there to the sport. Doumbe is a great athlete. He's got a lot of fan base out there. It would be amazing to have a card out there for the PFL fight. And I'll definitely be out there too, man.
That would be great. And just even on the topic of your brother there, like I interviewed him a few months back when he was going to fight in Karate Combat and talked about the Showtime Kick, how big it was at the time. Like when you were watching that and you saw your brother pull that off, like what was your reaction at the time?
Funny, man. Actually, I was front row, and as soon as he landed that kick, mouth just wide open, just because I've seen him throw up plenty of times in the gym. He's been throwing that all the time. Anthony's so creative. He's very unique with his style and very risky. And to pull that out in the fifth round, for a belt and to land it, amazing. My first reaction was mouth drop, and I looked over to the right and I see Uriah Faber, and we both just stare at each other like, wow, he doesn't really land that right now. So yeah, it was cool, man. The first person I saw was Uriah Faber, actually, and I was like, I'll never forget that moment, man. I was so happy for him, so proud of him. Got the belt, I think it was the first MMA champ from Milwaukee. So yeah, pretty epic, man.
And just a transition here, like you were talking about earlier, like your flyweight days and making the weight. Like at the time in the UFC, like the flyweight division was ran there by Demetrius Johnson, and a lot was made of just like how competitive it was for you yourself, like being in that grind there. Like, what was the landscape like for you as a competitor?
It was different. I was only 20 years old when I got in the UFC, so I was a young man, kind of just figuring things out. I didn't have, that killer mentality. I was very cerebral growing up. I personally didn't know if I was going to be a fighter. I thought I was going to go to, probably have a normal job, possibly go to college and, figure things out. And once I got to that point of like, hey, do I want to go to college and go in debt, or do I want to go and fighting? And, I was like, I'll take the fighting route. But yeah, man, it's just been a crazy journey, looking back at everything, for both of us. I had a decent run in the UFC. I was 9-5. I made it to number 2 in the division. Fought Joseph Benavidez, Cejudos. I've gotten a lot of experience. So looking back at it, it was all for a reason, man. Very, very blessed to have that, and took it with.
And also too, like being in the division there, you were so young at the time, like you brought up there, and the guys you fought. Like, was there a fight that was like that you feel was a turning point in your career where you took away like more from, even if whether you won or lost, like depending on the result? Like, was there something where after that fight you felt like it was a big turning point in a positive direction?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, is when I fought Ryan. It's crazy. It's Ryan Benoit. I'm not sure how to say his last name, but I remember I made 125 my first time going down to 125, and I was piecing this dude up, whooping him up, and he ends up hitting me with this left hook and dropped me. Around that time, I was living a little differently, and I wasn't living like a champion. I wasn't living like an athlete. Was partying, like close to the fights, just being a youngster, enjoying myself. I was making some decent money at that time too, so I'm enjoying my life a little bit. And after that, I took myself serious. I got finished, and I was just like, never again do I want to feel this way. I don't want to put my brain at risk, or just feel like I didn't really commit to the camp. And that was my turning point in my career at 22 years old. And things definitely have the ups and downs. I'm not a perfect fighter. I'm not a perfect individual. I wish I was, but I think the losses really taught me a lot more than my wins. And I've gotten to 6 losses now in my career, out of 29 fights, so not too bad. But I'm one of those fighters, man, that I think kind of like a Charles Oliveira. Got to go through the trials and errors to really find what I'm striving for.
That's great too. And like, even it helps that you're a camp, you have a supportive team around you. So when you're ramping up for a fight, like, is there a part of your training where 2 weeks out, maybe 3 weeks out, it's like a lot more rigorous than others? Or Is there like a week before the fight is when everything comes together?
I'm one of those guys that trains all year round. So like my training camps are just similar to my lifestyle. Like I train every day. I train twice a day, 3 times a day, and with or without a fight. So once I get into camp, I just fine tune things. I start working my game plans, start getting my nutrition on point, my diet on point, and things definitely come together. I'm about 3 weeks out right now. 2 more weeks of work, well, a week and a half of work left. But yeah, these next 2 weeks are pretty much pushed. This is my peak week this week. Next week, I kind of get tampered down a little bit, start recovering. And then fight week, I get back up to a peak week and try to peak during my fight time, performance time.
Has that helped you in your career? Because like there are some fighters that have been open about like how much weight they gain after a fight. They walk around and then, you see the fight is sometimes 50-50. Like training all year round, does that make you sharper in your opinion?
I think so. I think and we're at a point in the sport where if you don't train all year round, you will get exposed. You got to be committed to learning new skills every day. I try to make myself a white belt every day and try to learn something new every single day. And it's been playing out for me very well. I know there's some fighters that have that, that training camp mentality where they'll just be training during, fight time. It might work out for them. But for me, I'm the opposite. I feel like I have to put in the extra work. I have to, make sure that I dot every I and cross every T. I've always been one of those people. So, I've done that my whole career.
A couple final questions. Your teammate, Belal Muhammad, finally got that title shot. He's going to be fighting Leon Edwards in Manchester at that UFC pay-per-view. Where is your reaction to Belal? Because he's been a guy that racking up wins and didn't really get the opportunity, and now he finally gets that title shot.
Man, much deserved. Belal is a hell of an athlete. The commitment that this guy has to this sport is ridiculous. He's training all year round. As he's aging too, he's training all year round. It's very impressive. I love to see it. And yeah, it's his time now, man. It's his time to get that belt. I'm glad that they gave him his opportunity. I believe he's on a nine fight win streak, or like that's 9, 10, 11. I don't even know. He's on a large win streak, and it's about that time that they give him what he deserves, and that's his title shot. I'm very happy for him, and I believe Belal can be the end new.
It's going to be a great fight to see there. And just Steven, we're going to give our viewers here and listeners here at the Game Plan a chance to get to know you a little bit better with some rapid fire questions. So Sergio, I'll ask you the list here. Who would you think is the best striker in MMA?
Best striker in MMA at the moment, I think Sean O'Malley. I would say Sean O'Malley.
Best grappler in MMA?
Best grappler. I'll say Patchy Mix.
Funniest teammate?
Funniest teammate that I've had? Man, they're all funny, to be honest. I got so many, but I think the most funny person that I've come across probably was Cowboy, just spending some time with him, Donald Cerrone. I was like, yeah, that he's got a good energy to him. Funny dude. A
dream fight for you as a fighter?
Demetrius Johnson is a guy that I watched growing up and a guy that I was chasing for a bit. Definitely DJ.
And as a fan, what would be a dream fight for you if you were like the matchmaker?
If I were a matchmaker, dream fight. Let's see. I'm a fan of O'Malley right now, so I'd say O'Malley versus like a McGregor almost. Like I know they're like different weight classes, but like 45, if they can meet at 45, like when McGregor's on his peak, I want to see those two styles go against each other.
Good one there. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Wolf of Wall Street.
That's a good one. Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show, The Simpsons.
Are you a pizza person? Like, do you consider yourself a pizza person?
My wife is compared to me, but I definitely enjoy some pizza. Definitely.
Okay, this is a controversial question here. Pineapple on pizza?
I like pineapple on pizza. My wife's favorite pizza is that, so I eat that pretty commonly. So yeah, pineapple on pizza. I like it. Even on tacos.
A song that gets you pumped up that's a go-to on the playlist.
Man, right now it's Kendrick Lamar. They're Not Like Us. That one's fire.
Who's on your Mount Rushmore of MMA?
on MMA, GSP, John Jones, Anderson Silva, and Demetrius Johnson.
Solid list there. And final rapid fire question. What's the best piece of advice that you've received in your career so far?
Best piece of advice I received in my career so far. That's actually a good question. Man, that's a hard question to answer. That's a more of an in-depth rapid question. I think the best advice I got in my career is probably from my brother Anthony. You know, just kind of really enjoying every day, enjoying the process, and being present. You know, be present every day, and don't live too far ahead, don't live too far behind. Enjoy the moment.
Great advice there. And Sergio, before we wrap up here and let you go, how can our viewers and listeners here at the Game Plan stay up to date with everything you're doing and follow you on social media?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not the greatest on social media. I ain't gonna lie. My page is off and on sometimes, but mostly Instagram. Check me out at Sergio Pettis. Not too much on Twitter, mostly on IG. So yeah, I'll say Instagram. That's how you keep up with me.
I would recommend that follow. And Sergio, I really appreciate you sharing your time here and coming on the Game Plan to talk about your rematch with Kyoji Horiguchi, and wish you all the best of luck with this. And maybe we'll see you there with that flyweight championship.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the interview, brother. Thank you for your time.